Hey guys, today I'm bringing you a video with me driving the unfairest tank of them all, namely the Chieftain T95. And the reason I call this the unfairest tank of them all is because this is the main prize that you can get in the Blitz unfair together with the M60, and it's pretty much impossible to get unless you want to spend trillions of money on this game and on this one tank, which it really isn't worth it. And what probably makes it even more unfair was the fact that I've been given it as a gift, so I didn't have to spend any money on it, for which I'm very grateful, because even though the tank can be quite fun, it's definitely not worth the money that you need to spend on it in order to get it from the Blitz fair. So this review I'm going to be showing you 3 games, one where I do okay-ish, which is this one, then one where I do pretty bad, and one where I do really good. Now, this is the IS-6 that in the beginning of the game was commenting on the fact that I was driving the Chieftain, and I completely agreed with him when he said that it wasn't really a good tank and all, or she, because the name is Wonder Woman, so I never know. But now he's bouncing, or she is bouncing, every shot on me so far except for the first one, so that's actually really good fun. And now that I killed her, I'm actually a hacker, which is really funny, because usually when people call you a hacker it means you're doing it right. I actually started driving this tank on a live stream, and after 11 games in it I had a 36% win rate in it. And though that's partially the teams, because teams during events are just awful, it's also partly me, because British tanks and I generally don't get along. Just the lack of mobility and the lack of armor, the combination thereof is not my cup of tea, and it does not fit my playstyle. But overall this tank, it's not bad, it's not good, it's okay. It doesn't really have anything going for it. It can be quite a bit of a bully, as you saw with the IS-6, but at the same time I'm battling this dude and he's spamming me every single shot. That might be because I'm over-angled a little bit, but for a heavy tank, this tank really does not have the armor. And that's generally the same thing with all the British tanks, which is probably why I don't get along with them very well. So I know that every time someone looks at me, I really need to not get shot and just move or hide or whatever, and that is something that I'm generally not good at, which is probably why it doesn't match my playstyle, because I like being very forwards in a tank, and I like being a bully, and I like peekabooming, and this tank is not fast enough for proper peekabooming. It doesn't have the armor to be a proper bully, so everything is just a little bit less. So now I'm in a bit of a pickle because I need to kill the Borsig. But at the same time, if he breathes on me, I'll die as well. Because, well, like I said, this tank does not have the armor of a regular heavy. So I'm just wondering what will happen now. But they're actually both there, and that makes it a little bit better, because my teammate now kills the Borsig, which means that we only have one tank left to go. We have the point advantage, so there's no rush at doing anything really. So I kind of think that we've got this in the pocket, and I don't need to worry that much. I just need to be careful, and with him occupying my teammate, I can get behind him and see if I can get some damage in before my teammate kills him. Or before my teammate is killed, of course, because that's also a possibility. But I decide to cap a base instead, just to be on the safe side, because if my teammate doesn't shoot him and kill him, well, it doesn't look like that's gonna happen, but still, it's always a good thing to get an extra point advantage. The IS-6, by the way, later apologized in PM for being rude, which was actually quite nice of him, or her. I'm still not sure, because in this game I generally tend to assume that people are he's, but look at me, I'm a girl too, so it could be a girl. Now in this game I'm taking a huge risk by going off on my own, and that's actually, it can work out really well on this map especially, if all goes well, but generally in this game it doesn't. So I'm here now, I got HE loaded, but I'm not gonna be able to do much with that, so I'm gonna decide to use AP, and luckily he misses another shot on me. And I know that if the enemy team comes here, because my team is spread out a lot, and yeah, now I got a big gun in front of me and he shoots me with that big gun, and that hurts. So I need to be careful, but he's just fired, so I can get some shots in. But he has a friend, so I pull back immediately again. But then that guy pens me as well, and he damages my ammo rack, which means I reload slower. I bounce on him, which is also really nice, but I have some teammates luckily. I bounce a shot by him, but then still get shot by the guy that I was shooting at before. So I know that I'm in a very tricky position and there's not a lot of chance of me getting out of here alive. Especially when this guy comes forwards in the hope of killing me properly. I get a shot in, he luckily misses, so I'm alive for a few seconds longer at least. But yeah, all of it is not looking good, especially with this guy coming over. And I know I need to get the heck out of here because he has a fast reload and I don't. I have very little armor and he has quite a lot. So if he were to shoot me, I would die. Now the Spig is doing a fine job of trying to do just that. I don't mind bumping into him because his armor is so much lighter. And I get shot in my rear. I move forwards, but then I get shot by the TD that came down behind me. And that's the end of it for me. So I fast forward through the campers and see what they are doing. And amazingly enough, we're winning actually. So I'm actually not too bad with going off on my own and standing in one position. But yeah. This is the game I was actually looking forward to showing most. Like I said, I'm showing you all three because I feel that it shows the best and the worst parts of this tank. Because if you're on your own against many enemies, or if you have enemies in your face, you're not likely to do very well without a team. But if you can be in the sides, like I'm in this game, and basically work a position really well, then you can do quite a bit of damage and you can get quite a bit of luck with bounces and everything, because this is a really good position for this tank. Even though it's not a medium and it's meant to be a heavy, it does not play as a heavy, and I think that's where I was going wrong. Because in those games where I had the really awful win rate, I basically tried to play it like a heavy, and this is just not a tank that lets that happen. It's more of a heavium, and once I realized that and started playing it like this, I was doing a heck lot better. Now I'm still getting shot a little bit, but I know that I can get more shots in. I just need to be careful with that IS-3. But my reload is faster than him. But I bounce and miss a shot, and now I bounce the IS-3 luckily, so he's not doing any damage. So I need to be careful. I want that IS-3 out of the way. So using Primo doing less damage is not a big issue in my opinion, because even if he takes less damage, and as long as I'm bouncing his shots, I'm keeping him occupied and I'm still doing damage, and he can't do damage. But now I decide to see if I can kill some of the people there, but I can't. So I move back into the position that I was to occupy the IS-3 again. And I really think that's the key to playing this tank. Be a heavy when your team needs you to be a heavy, and be a medium when your team needs you to be a medium. Because if your team is low on meds, you can be like a reluctant med. And if your team is low on heavies, you can be a bit of a bully. But both require completely different game styles, so I think that if you adapt to the team and the game and the map more, you will actually be able to do really well in this tank. And maybe that's the same for all the British, I don't know, but we'll see. In the meantime, I've done quite a lot of damage here, and I'm actually quite proud with how far I've gotten. And that shot, I love it. But even so, the team is steadily disappearing, but so is the enemy team, and now I have a Roo coming up behind me. So I turn around and I face him, I shoot him first up, and he bounces his shot. And this is where this tank can be a bully again, and it's very situational, but it can work. Like, if you look at how much this Roo is bouncing on me, and I'm just bumping into him and being in his face, then it works really well. So far, I've gotten him nearly down, and he's not damaged me even once. So I kill him, and then we have just 2 enemies left, one of which is there, and he dies, so that leaves where is the other one. And then I don't think I've seen him on the map yet, so I think that the safest bet is to go to the spawn and see if he's there. My teammates think the same, but I'm a bit faster because, well, I may not be medium, but I'm heavium. So I go as fast as I can, which isn't all that fast, towards the enemy spawn to see where he is. And overall, I quite like this game. This tank is quite good as long as you're in a really good position for this tank, and as long as you're able to, well, get lots of shots in. And now I find this guy, he's obviously AFK, and I'm not able to pen him with HE, unfortunately. So I just shoot him as much as I can cause all the more damage, and my team will be here shortly. And I kind of hope that I'll be able to get the kill, but I can't. So that's why it's a negative, because it would have been really nice to have a Radley. Maybe I should have held out with the shot a little bit. So I was really happy with this result because I've been doing so badly in this, but I think this game might have been the turning point for me in learning how to play this tank. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this review and my view on the unfairest of them all, and I'll be seeing you guys the next time again.